The low income need to watch this closely, as millions of Americans could get hammered when this happens. Also, some other important details that just hit the wire today. I have everything you need to know right here in this video, so let's get right into it. Alright, so first off, let's quickly talk about some of the key headlines that just came across the wire a short time ago. Number one, the Vice President, Kamala Harris, has now tested positive for COVID. This just hit the wire a few hours ago. Apparently, she is asymptomatic, in other words, not feeling any symptoms, but she has technically tested positive as of today. Next, the administration is calling on Congress for additional COVID relief. Remember a couple months ago, they were trying to pass about $22.5 billion in COVID relief? Well, it never happened. They never did anything with it. Well, then about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago or so, they were back out trying to pass $10 billion in COVID relief. Once again, it didn't happen. Well, now the administration is back out calling on Congress once again to pass additional COVID relief. I did not see a price tag on this, whether they're trying to go for the $22.5 billion again, whether they're trying to go for $10 billion. Any other numbers are out there right now. I did not see any confirmation of the amount that they're trying to go for, but they are trying to get this done. At least the administration is trying to pressure Congress to doing it, and we will see what actually happens. Now, I do have a lot more details for you, but really quickly before we get into the rest of it, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I'm continuing to do the research all day, every single day, so I can break it all down into these short videos so that you can stay updated with everything going on right now during this very, very busy time. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I truly want to help you out. I get it. It's a tough time out there, but I'm right here by your side every single day. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe down below so I can keep you updated with all of this stuff going on every single day. All right, let's continue on here and talk about another report that was just released. And honestly, this one is a little bit sad and a little bit scary. So apparently, according to this report, more than 1/3 of all the small businesses that were recently surveyed have considered closing their doors because of inflation. Here's what it comes down to. I think all of us are very familiar with some of our favorite small businesses in maybe the towns or the cities that we live in, right? Typically, these small businesses, the owner is there, maybe an employee or two, but generally, small businesses, have only a few employees. And a lot of times, we generally know the owners of these places. You can probably think of a few as I talk through this, right? The owners are always there. They're working long hours. They're working a ton every single day. And the deal is, according to this report, over 33% of all the small businesses that were recently surveyed said that they are considering closing their doors because of this inflation. Here's why. The owners are working more. They're actually taking less compensation, as in they're getting paid less, simply because they don't want to raise their prices. Here's why. Like I just said, a lot of times small businesses are very kind of like friendly with their customers, right? They know all the people in the town. They know the regular customers that constantly come in. The last thing they want to do is raise prices on the people that are loyal to them and all of their friends that continue to come back, right? You can probably think of these businesses. You probably have a few in your town that you probably visit on a regular basis. You walk in, you know the owner, and these people apparently are having a hard time right now because they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? They're kind of stuck paying higher prices because of all this massive inflation, and at the same time, they really, really don't want to raise prices on their very loyal customers. So it's kind of a hard situation, right? So these businesses are saying, I don't know what to do anymore. The overhead continues to increase, as in more expenses, and my margins are not keeping up anymore. It's getting kind of hard these days. So kind of a sad situation because realistically, small businesses are by far the backbone of America. You've probably heard that before, but it's true. There are millions and millions and millions of small businesses. So anyway, kind of a sad statistic out there, but realistically, that is what we are currently dealing with right here, right now. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are going up rapidly in price right now. Kind of scary to see what is actually going on out in the real world, right? So Anyway, came across that report and I thought, wow, this is kind of an interesting one, interesting report. I like to share stuff like that with you in this video or in these videos just because I want you to know what is actually going on, like out in Main Street America, right? Not just what we're hearing about out in like the corporate world. Honestly, who really cares about that? You know what I mean? That is so not personable. It's not really relatable. But when it comes down to small businesses, things like that, it's something that we can all relate to, you know, because we all have our favorite small businesses. All right, so one more quick update here, and then we'll get into talking about the low income and fixed income beneficiaries as well. Next, the stock market. Wow, got slapped around a little bit today. Anywhere between about 3 and 3.5, maybe a little bit more percentages down today across the indices, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell 2000, all of these over 3% down today because of all of these fears that the Federal Reserve is going to come in and start raising interest rates pretty aggressively here coming in relatively soon. So again, a lot of weird stuff going on out there right now, not to mention the global issues that are out there as well. So anyway, just like to keep you updated with a little kind of glimpse of everything that I'm finding out there, what's actually going on. Next, I want to throw this one out there, and this one is directly related to the low income and fixed income, and I know that pertains to a lot of you right here in this community. Here's what's going on. So as we know, about 2 weeks or so ago, the public health emergency declaration was actually extended for another 90 days. It pushes us out until about mid-July. Well, this is actually a good thing for especially the low income and the fixed income. If you happen to see that video that I just put out a few hours ago in regards to SNAP benefits, otherwise known as food stamps, you might want to check that video out. I alluded to this and I discussed the importance of this a little bit in that video as well. And we also talked about the states that are extending extra SNAP benefits going forward. So check that video out if you haven't seen it quite yet. It was just the last video I put out. But anyway, according to what is actually going on right now that this extension is put in place, there's a likelihood that it may be allowed to expire sometime in mid-July. However, one more point we have to throw out there as well. According to what the experts are saying right now, with COVID cases once again rising a little bit, as of recently, as there was a little bit of a lull over the last maybe month and a half, maybe 2 months or so, COVID cases are starting to rise again. So if COVID cases continue to rise into the July time when this may actually expire again, well then we could possibly see this thing extended out once again, which would be good because here's why. If the public health emergency declaration is allowed to expire, here's what's going to happen. About 15 million Medicaid beneficiaries will lose benefits. Yes, 15 million. I did not say 15 people. I did not say 15,000. I did not say 1,500. I said 15 million people would be losing Medicaid benefits. That is scary. That is very, very bad. Let's just say that much. And I know there's a lot of you here in the community that are receiving SSI or Medicaid, things like this. About 15 million of the roughly 80 million beneficiaries on Medicaid right now would be losing benefits. That's not good. Next, have to throw this out there as well. That extra SNAP benefit that I just talked about in that last video a few hours ago, again, that would be gone. That will be expiring once the public health emergency declaration actually expires. That is no longer able to be sent out. They can maybe squeeze one last month out of it, but other than that, that is it once the public health emergency declaration actually does end. Again, not a good thing because that extra allotment that's going out right now is pretty beneficial to the millions of families and households and individuals that are currently receiving it. That's an important one as well. Now next, I know this probably doesn't pertain to a ton of people, but again, I want to throw it out there because you got to be aware of this because if you happen to do something, you may get a bill right then and there, or you may get a bill in the mail. Here's the thing. If you decide that you want to go get COVID tested, right? Not really sure how many people are testing anymore. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just simply saying I'm not sure how many people are going to get tested. But now that the public health emergency declaration is still in place, your private insurers as well as Medicare and Medicaid should be paying for your COVID tests. However, if the public health emergency declaration does end, guess what happens as well? They're no longer going to pay for your COVID tests. So if you happen to go in and get tested and the public health emergency declaration has ended, you're going to get a bill. Not good, because guess what? These tests are generally pretty expensive, over $100. Well, I'm not sure about you, but not too many people have an extra $100 laying around these days to just go and spend on a COVID test. Which, by the way, if you're interested in getting some, you can actually still go to the pharmacies and you can get 8 free COVID tests every single month because of your insurance. Your insurance will pay for that, including Medicare right now. So again, I would check on that before you go out and start buying all of these COVID tests. They will pay for up to 8 of them every single month with your private insurance and, of course, like I said, your Medicare. Now, one more thing as well. If you happen to go out and want to get a COVID vaccine. Now again, I just want to make it very clear, I am not here saying you should or you shouldn't. I'm simply just making a statement based on the Public Health Emergency Declaration. If you just so decide to go out and get a vaccine, and again, not saying you should or shouldn't, I'm just giving you some information here. I know it's very controversial, which is why I continue to say that, because I don't want anybody saying, you're pushing vaccines. No, I'm not. Seriously, I'm not pushing them at all, trust me. Anyway, if you want to do that, one more thing, as the Public Health Emergency Declaration is in place, you can still get those and they will be paid for. However, once the Public Health Emergency Declaration is no longer in place, you may be getting a bill. So again, very important as we got to watch this because a lot of people could be impacted in a kind of a bad way if this thing actually does get dropped. Now, as COVID cases continue to rise here and we potentially face the actual expiration of this in July, I know it's a few months away, but you just got to be aware of all this stuff, okay? Another report that I came across, and I wanted to lay it all out for you so that we're all on the same page and understand what is actually going on right now. Anyway, these are the updates that I have for you as of right now. Of course, I've got a whole pile of other things that I could be talking about, but I think we're going to leave it here in this video, and I can always come back in a separate one and break down a bunch more updates for you that I want you to know about because there's a lot of things going on. Anyway, hope this one helps you out. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,400 videos right here on the channel. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.